We're going to call to
Really?
order
Remember that, yeah.
the October 19th, 2021 full city council meeting.
Aye, aye.
The city clerk will call the roll to record attendance.
Anderson Burgos,
Here.
Bartley,
Here.
Graney,
Here.
Hernandez, Leahy,
Present.
LeBron Martinez, Lisi, McGee,
Here.
McGivern,
Here.
Murphy,
Here.
Sullivan,
Here.
Tallman,
Here.
Bacon.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America.
in the city of Holyoke.
And the city council.
And the Boston Red Sox.
And Mr. Jeffrey Burgos, congratulations on your little run there.
To housekeeping, Councilor Lisi will not make it here tonight. She is out of town. She just wanted to let everyone know. We picked the name out of the, to see who votes. I picked myself, so that is me. Before we get started, I want to recognize my medal for running. 3 hours, 58
news.
minutes, and 44 seconds. Now, I can't even run. But honestly, Jeffrey Anderson Burgos ran the marathon, Chicago Marathon, Detroit Marathon, 3 hours, 58 minutes, and 44 seconds. That's phenomenal.
Hey, hey.
Outstanding. That's amazing. And you broke your record from last time, Matt, correct? Yeah. Awesome job. Items that are laid on the table. Committee on Charter Rules was referred in order Holyoke amend the charter. Any action on 1, 2, or
Motion
3?
to take up item 1.
Second.
Off the table.
Motion to take up 1 off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Counselor Bacon.
We have received the legal opinion relative to this order and the reason that it was tabled. And by my understanding of the legal opinion, we can move this forward in the method that we had originally thought, and the legal opinion validated that. So I would make the motion that we approve the amendment to the charter and move it forward according to the required process.
Second.
So motion is to receive, adopt, and move forward with regards to the Charter and Rules Committee recommendation, which this is that the charter amend to provide city council confirmation of any current appointees at a time of reconfirmation. Moreover, the Charter and Rules Committee and the acting mayor consider whether allow the nominees either on both boards to apply directly by the city council as well as consideration. So any further
So,
question?
Mr. President, as amended, we struck out all of the language except that Holyoke amended its charter to provide for city council confirmation of all new mayoral appointments.
Okay. Any questions? Seeing, Councilor McGivern.
If I could, Mr. President, under discussion. Although I fully understand the intent in the proposal, and I fully understand the committee recommendation, I just will not be voting in favor of this evening. I just like to explain why. The charter, as I think we all know, is a very unique charter, and extremely old charter, which was put together by I would think, the founding fathers, or people who should get the recognition of city government here in Holyoke. And it's unique in many ways. The city council, back then Board of Aldermen, was given the authority and responsibility and afterwards of appointing some positions that are incredibly unique for a legislative body to appoint. The most important one being the auditor, not to second guess the appointment of the tax collector and the assessors, which are all extremely important and part of the finance team itself. In doing so, I think in respects to the charter, I think there was some give and take. And I think when the makers of the charter itself put this together, I think they gave some things to the position of mayor of not to be confirmed by the city council. I don't think this is a very strong argument to vote for or against this for anyone else. But for me, I just like to honor the spirit of what the original charter was in the spirit of what has taken place over the years in terms of ordinances and the separation of the legislative body and the executive branch itself. So therefore, I'll be voting against this.
Anyone further? Counselor Murphy?
Yeah, I just would recommend that we vote to adopt it, and I do so for this reason. I think bringing appointments before the city council and making sure that connection is made between the council and the administrators of the commissioners just makes sense. It provides information, it provides somewhat some feedback, it also provides some neutrality, that you knew you have to come before the city council, so you're going to pay attention to city council thoughts. Doesn't mean you're going to do exactly what the city council wants, but I think it creates a pathway for communication that is more productive than just a mayoral appointment.
Counselor Graney?
Yes, I'll be voting in favor of this because I believe it promotes transparency, and that's one thing that this body and city government should always provide to the people. Thank you.
Anyone further? Anyone online? Seeing none. The motion is to receive and adopt. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for the amendment.
Anderson Burgos?
I thought it was McGee.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
McGee
McGee.
first. I was ready.
McGee?
Yes.
McGivern?
No.
Murphy?
Yes?
Sullivan?
Yes.
Tallman?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes,
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Bartley?
Yes.
Graney?
Yes.
Hernandez? Ron Martinez, no. Leahy?
Yes.
9 yeas, 1 nay.
For your vote, you approve that. 2 or 3? Counselor Bartley?
Just a point on number 2. I don't have anything back from the law department yet. I did speak with the petitioner, and he wasn't feeling well, so
Okay.
I said we would leave it on the table tonight, we'll take it up next month.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you. So 3. Hearing, this is the Committee on Ordinance was referred in order that the City Council, through appropriate committees, consider a drop and pickup for 2 parking spots.
If I,
Just a
So was there, where,
legal form added to it. That's what they're looking for.
you have the legal form. If we want, the attorney is here. If you want to ask questions, motion be to suspend the rules. Is that what we're looking for on this one? I thought that's what it was.
Taking it off.
No? Okay, so no one wants to take it off the table? All right. So on to public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment?
President
Yep,
McGee,
yep. Counselor Anderson Burgos.
Kathleen Deegan has her hand up.
Yep, but
well, she wasn't recognized.
it wasn't, no one made a motion to take it off the table, so it stays.
Oh, my
on the
bad.
table. No,
Okay,
no
thank you.
problem. I know we're still in the Zoom world, so it is tough, so not a problem. If you miss something, just yell at me. So we're on to public comment. Anyone signed up online first? Anyone in the chamber? Seeing no one? All right, we're on to communications, number 4.
Make a motion to receive and adopt.
second?
This is subject to approval. I hereby reappoint the following person, Thomas Creed, to serve a 5-year term for the Hoyoke Redevelopment Authority. Motion is to receive and confirm the reappointment. That was seconded. Under discussion, Counselor Leahy.
Yeah, just very quickly, I've known Mr. Creed for a very long time, and the city of Hoyoke is very lucky to have his expertise. So having said that, I made the motion. Thank you.
Anyone further? Seeing none, motion is to confirm. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? And just for the record, it will expire November 1st, 2026. 5 is
Make a motion to receive and
minutes
adopt.
of the meeting for October 5th. Motion is to receive and approve. Any comments, questions? None? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? 6 is from the Division of Local Services regarding the sewer rate
Make a motion.
relief fund.
Receive, send to finance.
Motion to receive, send to finance.
If I can
All
just
those in
make a-
favor?
Mr. President,
Counselor Murphy.
just real quick, I've heard from the city engineer who has reviewed this and pretty much indicated that because we get other things that we're not going to be eligible for this, but he will continue to look at it in case there are any changes. But I know he was pretty confident we were not going to be able to get into this program because of other funding that we've received.
Okay. Counselor Anderson Burgos.
Yes, I just got a message. Counselor LeBron Martinez is trying to vote and she's trying to participate, but I don't see her on the screen here. I'm assuming she is not a panelist. Can we look into that?
Do you know if she called in or she logged in from a computer?
Let me get back to you.
Okay. Tell her we don't see her yet on either way, whether it's by phone or by computer.
Will do.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President, motion to suspend, take 7 and 16 as a package.
Second.
And ship them off to ordinance, please.
Second.
So
Second.
7.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'll suspend the rules, take up 7 and 16 as a package. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 7 is a petition for speed bumps on Moss Ave, and 16 as we get there. Is from Counselor Bartley that the speed humps be placed on Moss Ave. Both would be received and referred to ordinance
Yeah, and send, I guess we got to send it to the city engineer, too.
and city engineer.
Yeah, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Back to 8.
President Murphy. President McGee.
Yes.
I just got confirmation she's on line 2455. So if we can have our administrator look into that.
Thank you. I've been fine. Sorry, guys. The computer is acting up, but I've been on it, and I apologize for the delay. Thank you.
No problem. Yep. So we got her. All right. So we're moving on to reports of committee,
President?
ordinance.
How about the president's report?
Oh, did I miss that? I apologize. Oh, it's at the bottom. I apologize. Thank you, sir.
Anytime.
All right. I do have a few things. One, I just talked about Jeffrey and his remarkable event running the marathon. To Councilor McGivern, I want to send out our congratulations on Brenda's engagement. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome news.
Brenda says thank you.
The other one is pitchers. We've all been waiting to catch up on the bills of the pitchers, which was kind of like a marathon for Jeffrey to figure everything out. There will be a blue late file coming in as a late file tonight on transfers in order to pay prior bills because we were still behind. It'll catch everything up, and then Jeffrey will schedule the appointment for November to have the pitchers here, right? Probably December because they want it paid before this. Yeah, I know. I don't blame them. So, due to Jeffrey's efforts, Mayor Murphy were able to catch everything up as long as we approve it, hopefully tonight or in committee, whatever it takes. But that'll catch everything up, and then they'll take the pictures for us, and that'll get us up to current. So, because we were behind a couple of years. Went to the flag raising event. Mayor Murphy was there. Councilor Sullivan, Councilor Tallman, a few other councilors from the past. Kevin Jordan, Diosdado Lopez, Gladys Martinez was there. It was a great event.
Councilor Bartley was there.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
But I made it.
Sorry, Counselor. I did ask. Remember to yell at me if I didn't see you in the crowd. It was a great crowd. It was a great day. It was almost 80 degrees. And it just absolutely a phenomenal time. So they did a great job. I do have a late file in for the school committee/committee. They're looking to get invited into the joint committee to talk about timing, MSBA stuff, and get the council up to date on everything. So they want to come to the joint committee. That'd be Anthony Soto, committee members, to update us on everything as a full body. So I said I would do that, and hopefully Councilor LeBron Martinez can schedule a meeting sometime before the 1st December timeline. So I think there's plenty of time for that in November. And then finally, if you look at your calendars, this is the last meeting, and then there's an election. So we don't have a meeting on that election. And then by the time we all come back on the 16th, I believe it is, Mayor Murphy will be back to being Councilor Murphy. So I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for everything that you have done. You've done a phenomenal job.
Hear, hear.
With that, did I miss anything? Anyone have anything else? Councilor Graney.
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd like to offer a moment of silence for General Colin Powell.
Second.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you.
I could just offer.
Councilor Murphy.
So, first of all, thank you for your kind words, and thank you for your support. Just a couple of things. I wanted to let you know that about 10 days ago, public television was here filming in Holyoke. They spent eight and a half hours going through a variety of things. They obviously viewed City Hall. They took all kinds of pictures of City Hall. They were pretty amazed at City Hall. They interviewed at the Volleyball Hall of Fame, at the Children's Museum. They took pictures there trying to promote tourism. They met with Mr. Hazen from Hazen Paper, trying to promote our older industrial things and tied it into the water power. They met, we went to Ashley Reservoir to kind of show some of the peaceful areas in Holyoke that people could go. We went to Community Field Park, and we had some of the McGee family sliding off slides and getting a chance to be on TV. So as I understand it, the initial presentation will probably be coming in about 6 weeks. It won't be on television until sometime in February. But we will get 1-minute commercials plus the 5 to 6 minute presentation on programming. We'll also get some electronic advertising marketing throughout the country, and we can pretty much determine that. But I will say they were very good. I could not believe how professional they were. I know I don't look like I looked when I was much younger, but it took them 40 minutes to say, okay, you look okay, let's start talking now. So, and it wasn't just me, it was just about everybody else. So they were very good. I want to also let you know that we are now, through the fire department and with community development monies, we're running a Knox Box program, primarily for seniors and people with disabilities. I have basically approved the funding for 150 boxes to start the process. We are doing those free. Seniors or people with disabilities need to call the fire department. They will come to your house, process the paperwork, install the Knox box. They are also doing a file on life, which they will help you fill out. So if you have health issues, medicines you're taking, all of that would be there. So if somebody came in an emergency, that would also be noted that you have a file on life file on your refrigerator, and the fire department will do inspection, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide, and any other potential threats in your house. All of that being done free of charge. And Councilor Sullivan, should you be lucky in 2 weeks, I really would hope that as these go, and we're just starting to get the word out. We already have people that have applied, but the word's just getting out, and this is why I wanted to make that announcement, that you'll continue to consider this funding.
How much are they, Terry, each?
It's about $160. And that was one of the, many seniors had come to get them, but they just couldn't afford the $160. And so that's where look, let's just try it. Let's see if we can get them into their homes. Sure. And I will tell you, I had 2 people, about a month before we started reviewing it again, 2 people had talked about people falling and then having to knock doors down to get into the house. And that was kind of like the final spark that I needed, so. But I want to thank the fire department, Chief Prespakowski and Captain Kavanagh, and Alicia Zeller from Community Development, all putting it together. I also had, I want to thank our new Wisteriehurst director, invited me up to the gardens. We had a press conference at the gardens. The next day, we had 10 new families that had never been to Wisteriehurst. And the day after that, we had a school trip that had never been to Wisteriehurst. So, I think we need to make promoting Holyoke more part of our everyday opportunities whenever we get a chance. So those are all things I just want to let you know that have happened, and we'll keep you posted if there's anything else. Thank you.
Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, I want to make one else, but I also want to make a motion to take that late file up around the about the photos. So if you just, but I don't want to interrupt anybody if anybody else got an announcement, but I want to make one just follow up on what Acting Mayor Murphy just said, Mr. President. And so Acting Mayor Murphy was gracious enough after, I think, being ignored for 3 years, but we got re-invited to the mayor's reception for the Volleyball Hall of Fame. And I know Councilor Sullivan attended, I attended, and of course, Acting Mayor Murphy in his role as mayor attended. And, you know, I wish I had a film of Acting Mayor Murphy at the podium, because even he was blown away by how great the event was. I'm not sure if Terry had been to that in a while, but you know, I hadn't been in 3 years because I guess I'd been disinvited. But now I'm back, so I have to say it was tremendous, tremendous turnout. The honorees were fantastic. They were just so grateful to be here, and talk about promoting Holyoke. That's really, I think Terry said it that night, and I'll paraphrase. I mean, this should just be bigger and bigger every year. The president, George, we all know George. The vice president, Rick Barry. I think many of us know Rick from Westfield. He's vice president. Karen Blanchard, my classmate's been on that board forever. So it's been it was really a very impressive event, Mr. President, and that's something that I hope whomever is mayor in 2 weeks or whatever it is, we'll really consider working hand in glove with that. So with that being said, I would just like to make that motion to remove, to suspend the rules and take up the late file that the president referenced regarding the photos.
So motion is to go out of order to take up D and E as a package. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? D is from Councilor McGivern, order that $4,590 from 2 line items over to professional services. E is order, once again from Councilor McGivern, order that $2,090 be authorized from the City Council Department of Professional Services to pay for a bill from prior fiscal year. So motion would be to suspend the rules, take up final action on D and E.
So moved.
Second.
So there's 2 of them. One's for the 2,090 is authorized the City Council appropriation for fiscal year 2022 services rendered in 2021. And then 4,500 from pay City Council, $3,330, and Deputy Tax Collector, $1,260 to professional services. So it's paying from what, Jeffrey, so prior one that's way outstanding, and then the 4,590 is for to cover the picture that's going to happen in December. Councilor Murphy.
Yeah, I'm of the, now you got me really wondering. I was under the strong impression the 4,590 covered both the previous bill and the current bill. And I don't think the 2,090 is, and where's the transfer for 2,090 coming from?
It just says 2,000, no, it might be,
Just because
if you read it together, is the 4,590 is going to be approved, and then you have to approve the next one because it's a prior fiscal.
So it's not a transfer?
So it's not a transfer.
Okay.
It is just a authorizing
Okay.
payment of that outstanding way prior bill.
Okay.
Does that make more sense?
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey, this is, once again, it took us like a year and a half to get us caught up. So motion is to receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Counselor Bartley, you have a question?
Yeah, just under discussion. Normally, we would have a deep dive into why we're paying a prior bill. I mean, I guess it's a rhetorical question right now. I could make a guess as to why that wasn't paid, but I don't know if anybody else has an exact answer, so why that bill hasn't been paid and why we haven't done this for a period of time. And perhaps the president would give us a clue, or perhaps the acting mayor would give us a clue as to why we're dealing with these now.
From my understanding, this was back before I even became president. There was money taken from the line item that normally goes to pay for pictures to cover the city council picture, or really what you see up on the walls here. And for some reason that was moved. It was a transfer that was unbeknownst to us, and when it finally came time to pay that bill, there was no money in the account. And then the council for, I'd say over a year, maybe a year and a half, kept asking that the mayor's office, put the money back to then pay the prior bills, and it just kept getting delayed and delayed. So finally, we did catch up on one when I first took over, and then with COVID hitting, everything kind of got sidetracked. We found out from the photo place that, you still have an outstanding bill and you still have to pay for this year's. So that's how we got caught up.
Thank you.
So it was nothing on our side, if people were wondering. It was money was taken from our account and moved, unbeknownst to us at the time.
Just say, Matt, do we take a vote on that?
No,
No.
this was prior to any time of votes being needed.
So say that again?
This was prior to the way we now have the rules set up where you have to vote for transfers.
So it was an administrative transfer, and who could have initiated that?
That was the mayor's office.
Mayor.
The former mayor did that?
Yep.
Okay, so just so we're real clear on it, the former mayor did, thank you.
Any further questions?
Make a motion to pass the second reading.
Pass the first reading first. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second
Motion
reading.
is passed the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for D and E together.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Hernandez, Leahy,
Yes.
LeBron Martinez.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
12 yeas.
With that, you've approved that one. Back to ordinance. I just have a question. 8A, B, C, and D, do all these require legal form or just a couple?
All three, yes.
So A, B, C, because A does not have legal form.
B and C doesn't either.
So those have to remain we can lay on the table because we don't have legal form. And this happened last time where we said we had legal form and we thought we did, and then when we went back, they weren't there. So it's now a, paper trail trying to catch up. Procedure is if you don't have legal form, then you can't take them up that night. You have to either keep them in committee or lay on the table until legal form comes in. So motion would be to
So
table.
motion to table 8A, B, and C.
Second.
What, B? So I have no legal form for A, B, and C.
Well,
D is
B.
zone change.
Mr. President?
D is the zone change application. Am I missing that one? No, yeah, I got that right.
I'm sorry. Correct.
Counselor Burley.
I'll make a motion to suspend to allow legal to address us as to when can I expect a legal form on this?
Motion
I'll
is
second that.
to allow legal to answer. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Are they on?
They're there.
Hello?
Yes.
I was wondering, I see Mike is with us. Jeffrey did ask me for the item 8C. Quite frankly, I have not been working on these, though I'm willing to. With that said, I'm not trying to not answer your question. It's just that I have not been working on this material, but I'm willing to do so, obviously. Anything that I'm asked to do, I will do.
Okay, Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, Attorney Degnan, obviously, we appreciate that, but who has, or who is supposed to be working on these? I'm just not clear.
Well, that's why I was hoping Mike might speak, because I don't want to say he does if he doesn't. So, Mike?
Thank you, Kathleen.
Sorry.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, who has the vacuum cleaner? There we go.
Better?
Mike?
Evening, Michael.
Yeah, I think the
There's an
audio is
echo. I
bad.
think it's on the video and the telephone. I
Yeah.
think that's what's causing the echo.
All right, so Counselor Bartley, it's your question.
No, I think it's the computer fan.
All right, so
Well,
We have
let's-
technical
I
difficulty.
think Attorney Bissonette heard us. I'm just trying to get a vibration from Mike as to when we can expect the legal form for this. I think we can just let him get an answer while the air conditioner is blowing. whatever
Mike,
that
did
thing
you hear that? When can we expect a legal form? And then answer quickly before the computer blows up.
Next meeting, Counselor.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. So motion is to table A, B, and C.
And apparently D also.
So D as well.
Second.
All right,
So moved.
so on all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. That takes us to Finance. 9A, Committee on Finance was referred an order, petition for Secure Transfer, Inc., livery license, have recommended with the following recommendations. Is hired on a prearranged basis with a minimum of 12 hours notice, does not pick up fares on the street, does not contain a rate meter, and does not charge for services based upon mileage travel if the trip is less than 25 miles. Is operated by a named insured employee or independent contractor of the name insured, in attendance as a chauffeur. Primary form of payment shall be check or credit card or U.S. mail billing system. Operates from a home base. All vehicles have two-way communications with the home base. And that would be recommended that be adopted. Counselor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee did meet, and before us, we had the applicants represented by the principal in Secure Transportation LLC, also by two other speakers, one Lamont Clemens, who was, I think, is familiar to us from other projects here in the city of Holyoke. But we vetted out this request. I know a livery license is not something we see very often. It's been a while. It is not a taxi cab. I think it's obvious with the conditions attached. They are right in the application. You do not go around picking up fares. They are prearranged arrangements with people, example, that may want a prearranged pickup from the airport and drive home, or a prearranged pickup from their home and driven to the airport. The company and the process found out that the home base could be temporary at the moment, and that the owner is housing it's one vehicle, housing that one vehicle at the home, and they are looking for a local service for doing the mechanical work with it. But with the registration, the insurance papers all in order, the questions by the Finance Committee were all answered. The Finance Committee voted that with the inspection or approval of the police department, I'll give a little explanation to that in a second, that the license, with the recommendations that the license adopted tonight, that the license could be granted. I talked to Chief Pratt today about inspections, because we have not had a taxi cab license renewal or new one before us in some time now. And quite frankly, I'm not sure, but we're not even sure if taxi cabs, we license pickups in Holyoke. Any taxi cab can bring someone to Holyoke and drop them off, but they cannot pick up in Holyoke without a properly confirmed license from the city of Holyoke, which is through the city council. And they have not done any inspections in some time. Chief Pratt said over the years, the inspection of taxi cab licenses were, because there were so many cars for each of the cab companies, was to make sure that the proper license was going with the proper vehicle by VIN number and license plate and registration accordingly. In this case, you know, this vehicle is registered, it has an inspection sticker, has passed a mechanical inspection, and Chief Pratt said they would be happy to take a look at it, but it's one vehicle for this particular owner, you know, for secure transportation, and he says he doesn't think it's necessary, but they'll be happy to do it. So I think if we adopt this evening, I think it goes hand in hand. The city clerk certainly, you know, with our approval, you know, could issue the license, and with or without the chiefs, with the police department looking at the vehicle real quick.
Anyone further? Counselor Graney?
Yeah, Mr. President, I believe that the applicants also stated that the van is handicapped accessible, which is an important factor too. Thank you.
And if I could add one thing, Mr. President, I apologize to everybody. The home base, which is part of the applicant, is 337 High Street. They are looking for they thought they had a home base which had its own garage, and they are currently looking for the garage. A member of the clerk's office was with us that evening, and Kelly Lundgren, you know, said to us that this actual license expires in May. And we just added a caveat that if the home base changes between now and May, as long as it's a Holyoke address, we're okay with that. You know, it just makes more sense.
Anyone further? Counselor Tallman?
Yeah, just that night, they also stated that they're looking possibly for a place to stay in Holyoke, so anybody out there knows of any garages to garage their vehicle, they're willing to do that, and anybody to work on their vehicles. The gentleman, Jerry Gonzalez, is a 20-year employee there, transporting people, and also the Lamont was an advisory consultant that has dealt with transportation in the area. So I think this will work out well for them, and wish them well. And it's Becky Santiago is the owner, and they're trying to get, you know, more people to drive, more people, diverse community to be involved in this job.
Thank you. So motion is to approve. The clerk will call a roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for the license with conditions as read.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Tallman.
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos. Bartley,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
LeBron Martinez. 10 yeas.
With your vote, you approve.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm sorry. I said yes. I'm sorry. I said yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if I can make a motion, I'm sorry, did you announce that?
Yeah, so that was approved. Counselor McGivern?
If I can make a motion to suspend the rules to take 9B and 9G as a package.
Second.
Taking up D and G. A motion to suspend rules, take over as a package. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Committee on Finance, refer an order, Mass General Law 44, Section 53A. The council hereby accept the provisions of the American Recovery Fund, $7,792,257. G is 18,100.
Mr. President, I think 9B is, on my agenda, 9B is the
Settlement.
Local 1693.
Oh, you said B? I thought you said D.
No, B.
B. That's why I announced it, but my fault.
You know, the
B.
Director of Health allowed us to take our masks off at the forum last
B.
week.
Yes.
So D is not here yet.
Okay.
It's B. B is the Committee on Finance to refer to a settlement agreement between the City of Holyoke and local union 1693, which is the firefighters. That was recommended that be adopted. And then G is the financial transfer of $18,101.77 from firefighters, alarm operators to the various items. Motion would be to receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had the members, the Law Department represented in both by Attorney Degan and by Attorney Russell Dupree. We had the president of the local, William Alicia, from the fire department. The chief of the fire department, Jeff Preskopowski, was with us. And if I can just quickly go through 9B, which is the actual MOU agreement that was made between the city. This particular agreement was signed by our mayor, Terrence Murphy, just to point out. The notable changes is the COLA increase is a 1.5% increase, first effective retroactive to July 1st of 2021, and then effective January 2022, a second 1.5% increase. Note another monetary impact of this MOU is the city agreed with the fire department to roll their clothing allowance of $1,400 into their base pay. This is a one-time rolling into the base pay. The significance of this is the city will no longer be paying the $1,400 each year for clothing allowance, but becoming part of the base pay, it does eventually becomes part of their retirement. Each of these are monetary agreements. The transfer is a little bit more complex to explain. Last June, when we did our budget hearings, we learned from Mayor Murphy and from Chief Jaskopowski that they anticipated this agreement to be settled, and a lot of the salary adjustments are already in the budget. We had our auditor with us, Tanya Dojek. She explained that the transfer here is for some retroactive stuff that will complement what is in the budget that is not part of the retroactive pay itself. So after hearing from everybody, Tanya told us that the numbers are correct, that if we do pass the transfer would take place, and the contract itself would be ratified with enough money to pay for the increases.
Anyone further? Counselor Murphy.
Yeah, a part of the negotiation related to the IODs and giving the chief an opportunity to bring people back quicker. So that was part of the negotiations, and that's really a significant part of the reason that the financial transfer is there as well. So that negotiation hopefully gets people back working in the fire department at least 15 days sooner than they would have. So.
Anyone further? No one else? So motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion is passed the second reading. The clerk will call a roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for both.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman.
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Graney. Leahy.
Yes.
LeBron Martinez.
Yes.
12 yeas.
Put your vote, you approve those two.
If I could make a motion to suspend the rules to take up item 9C along with item 9H.
Second.
Motion to suspend the rules, take up C and H together. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
C is Committee on Finance to refer to settlement agreement for the clerical union. H is transfer of $11,814 from aid to mayor to several additional areas. Motion be receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Our discussion, Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have before us continued representation by the Law Department, both Attorney Diggin on this one and Russell Dupre, I think, helped out a lot on this one. We also had representation from the NAGE union itself, which is we know as the clerical union, and our city auditor, of course. The significance of this contract can be seen with the increase of some individuals, but also the COLA increase, which is, it's a 2% increase. This one retroactive to July 1, 2020, and then a 2% increase retroactive July 1, 2021 of this year. The 2% COLA increases are actually in the budget. The transfer that is before us, the second item, is part of the individual groups, individuals that are part of the union itself, and increases and salary adjustments and changes that were made to each of those positions. These are excuse me for a second, the sanitarian 2, $3,319, head clerk $1,339, sanitarian 3, $1,775, sanitary 1, $1,551, a floating clerk of $1,549, a public health nurse of $2,221. The money is coming from aid, a total of $11,814 is coming from the aid to the mayor, which is a position, as Mayor Murphy has told us before, has periods of a vacancy during the course of this year. This also agreement was signed by Mayor Murphy and the head of the union. I'm not sure, Jerry, if it's Angel
Yep. I can't think of his last name.
Alvarez.
Albert, yeah.
Thank you.
Albert.
That just came to me in a pinch. But the Finance Committee recommends that this agreement also be ratified by passing the transfer, and therefore the union would get the, my Mayor Murphy, I usually try to concentrate on the monetary impacts of MOU. Each of these contracts also gives and it is a monetary impact, the holiday, June 19th to the employees in the union. The city has already recognized June 19th.
Anyone further? Seeing none, motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion is to pass the second reading. The clerk will call roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for C and H.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Tallman.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Graney.
Yes.
Leahy.
Yes.
LeBrun Martinez.
Yes.
12 yeas.
With your vote, you approve those two. 9D, Committee on Finance is referred in order in accordance with Mass General Law 44, Section 53A. The City Council accept the provisions of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 for the amount of $7,792,257. Motion be to recommend that be adopted. So motion be to receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Under discussion, Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is American Rescue Plan Act, we call ARP, additional monies that we're receiving. This particular monies are being, through the federal government, through the state, known as county monies. The caveat being that we and probably 5 other county governments no longer, Hampden County, Hampshire, Berkshire, for example, no longer have county government, but we still were included in the disbursement of this money. The total we're getting is $7,792,257. Similar to the direct money from ARP, it's divided over two increments, 2 different pay periods. The formula, to my knowledge, what we were told, is the same formula that we've been using, where the mayor has control over the funds, similar to block grant monies and the disbursement of funds. Lisa Zoller in her office has control over monitoring the funds being received and eventually being allocated and how they are spent. We recognize this as good monies coming in, and so far we certainly, I think, all recognize that Mayor Murphy has done a tremendous job with ARP monies themselves. And I think in 30 seconds, he's about to tell us that he's already got a plan for this money. But we recommend that we do accept it with the...
Councilor Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. I just want to say, first of all, yeah, this is that 3.9 million, or almost 3.9 million for this year. It'll be another 3.9 million come next year. I am hoping that I may be in a position to have a special meeting to have the city council review. I've already talked to Councilor Bartley about having hopefully having a DGR committee in the next week or so. There are, and I have met with a significant number of the applicants, the Boys Club, the YMCA, Girls Inc., Homework House, and a variety of others. And there's a number of those that I really am trying to get the money so that they can start the programs that they're looking to do. And so if I call a special meeting, that's the goal, is to try to make sure that they get that started as quickly as they can. I'll give you one example. The Boys Club has redesigned a program which could create 30 daycare slots and 30 additional teen afternoon slots. They've been able to with what we are talking about, would be able to completely fund that and have that operational by basically late winter, early spring, if I can get that much. So that's what I'm looking to do if I do that. And like I said, I've met with I've had some that have our Western Mass thing that I've said I'd like that money all to go to Holyoke residents, and they've made arrangements to do those kind of things. So there's a lot of amendments that have been made that are more favorable to the community, and I do hope that when it comes time, if I can call that special meeting, that we can do that, have your recommendations, and then go from there. Thank you.
Anyone further? Counselor Graney?
Yeah, I just enthusiastically support that we accept this money. It's good stuff.
So motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion is to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for 9D.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
and Bud Martinez.
Yes.
11 yeas.
With your vote, you approve that one. 9E, Community and Finance referred in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, that the city hereby accept the fiscal 22 road safety program grant for $41,650. There's no match. Recommend that be adopted. Motion would be receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chief Pratt was before us. This grant comes from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security Office. It's a grant that the city has received in the past. The total is $41,650 with no match. The chief was able to tell us, without getting into specific location, that he's divided this into 4 safety patrols on totaling about $6,700 for each evening. These will take place from now through July 1st of the fiscal, right before the end of the fiscal year. It's important that we accept the grant so that he can get using the monies, because he cannot do it until the money has officially been accepted by the city. But the chief did answer all our questions. We recommend that we accept the grant and the provisions that come with it.
Anyone further? Councilor Tallman.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, also with the traffic enforcement, the monies for the mobilizations, we're upgrading 2 of the traffic trailers for radar, and a lot of us have those in different areas of the city, and I think they're very effective. There's actually one up on Bemis Road right now that's really doing a great job slowing down the traffic on Bemis. So.
All right, so motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion is passed the second reading. Clerk will call the roll regarding 9E.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern.
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
and Bud Martinez.
Yes.
11 yeas.
With your vote, you're approved. 9E, 9F, the Committee on Finance will refer in order the sum of $1,918,200 be appropriated for infrastructure improvements in the following areas, and then there's a laundry list. Recommend that be adopted. A motion to receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Under discussion, Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had Mayor Murphy with us, our auditor, Tanya Dojic, DPW Superintendent Mike McManus. On the proposal to bond, first, what the proposal is to bond for. I think most of us recognize the need and the importance of each of these projects. The bulk of this $1,918,200 request to bond would be for the Roberts Field replacement of the track itself, which I believe is pushing 20 years old now, 18, 19 years. The track itself is made of unique texture, and I think most of us know the history of Roberts Field, and under the former Mayor Sullivan and how we were able to put a track in that field, which is a European design to allow for a soccer field. We are one of the very few cities that have this type of track with that type of turf in a setting where we can do both football, soccer, and all other sports itself. It's a collegiate soccer field itself. The track is worn out in a number of places. It's actually lasting 18, 19, 20 years is pretty good for that type of material. The replacement cost is estimated at $600,000 with a 15% contingency, which could go either way. We also talked about the other projects here, and the question that I think each of them are significant, and we understand our revenue has not been available for many different projects, but these are improvements for infrastructure, sidewalks, resurfacing in the areas from Brown Ave, Westfield Road, Clark Street, Gilman Street, Wyckoff, Highland, Van Dyke, Princeton, Jefferson, and others. And the idea here is to bond for, and the auditor gave us a great answer to this, because we were concerned about two things. But one was to bond, if we were to bond for 15, 20 years for resurfacing and roads and infrastructure improvements like that, we all know that those roads and sidewalks are probably going to have to be replaced even before the bond is paid for. And she quickly answered that that's not the way they do it with the treasurer, herself, and the mayor. What they do is quick of a short-term bond, not short-term, but a short period of when they actually bond to pay off these expenses, and therefore it does make sense. It's with the interest rates the way they are. We also were concerned about our bonding capacity. Two city councilors asked, Councilor Bacon, Councilor Barkley, I think we all kind of asked, how this could this impact the potential for having to bond for a new public school, and what is our bonding capacity. Our treasurer, who apologized for not being at the meeting, it was a short notice and she did have a conflict. I'll take the blame for the short notice on that one. But she did get back to us. I believe everybody had a copy of the email that came. She saw it and got the answer through our bond counsel, Cinder McNerf. Our capacity is well within, there's two capacities. There's a 5% and then there's a 10%, which we can jump to if we so wish. We're well within the 5% range at the moment with the way bonds have been paid off and with the way interest rates have been staying low. And she quickly reminded us, because I think I forgot, and I think most of us forgot, that the school bonds, and this is from what we went through a couple of years ago, the school bond itself would not have an impact on the 5%, 10% of city debt. It would have its own separate city debt, with the schools itself, and of course, the reimbursement formula, whichever the state is willing to give us. So the answer to those questions are yes, we are within our capacities, and no, it will not have an impact if we choose to bond for a new public school. We recommend that the bonding, that we give permission for the mayor, the treasurer, and everyone to bond for these projects.
Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, just a quick point of order. Is the email from Ms. McInerney, is that a late filed? Is that before us, the bond?
I think so.
So is that before us then?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's attached to here, yeah.
All right, so I want to, I want to follow up on this. So it looked to me, not to, the finance chair and I talked about this last meeting, how we rarely disagree with each other, and I'm sure that's true. But it looks to me that we had the auditor kind of follow up with Abby Jeffers, the director. So I want to thank the auditor for doing that and getting this incredibly comprehensive, very dense email about bonding capacity. This email should be required reading for any city council or any city council candidate, because if you don't understand what's going on in this, and I'll tell you, it's not like I'm a math major, but so I had to read like 3 times myself just to get my arms around it. It is really important to understand this. I just want to make a couple small points, Mr. President, if I may. One is that she says, we've provided analysis in the recent past showing that the prospective school project can be managed without a debt exclusion. Okay, roger that. So just keep that in mind. She talks about the importance of self-sustaining through sewer operations using user fees. Copy that. It's important that the city balance the need for new infrastructure investment rather than defer needed infrastructure. So through the chair to Councilor Acting Mayor Murphy, thank you for recognizing that. Thank you for being a mayor to step up to the plate to recognize the needs of the city, the crumbling infrastructure. This is going to go a long way should this body pass this. Incredibly important. The two other small points, current low interest rates are affording considerable opportunity to lock in debt costs at extremely favorable rates. So you don't have to blow whatever cash you have. Of course, we don't have free cash generally around this place in the last 3 years, but I've already made comments on that in meetings past that go nowhere, but that's okay. But she said at the end, and this is the most important part, Mr. President, I think we should all file an order and I don't want to do a late file, but we'll file for next meeting. We are happy to model the debt the city is considering authorizing over the next several years if that would aid in the discussion. Holy cow. Would that aid the discussion? Yeah, I kind of think so. So it's imperative that we have their input on this. So I hope that all of you all of us and all the councilors in waiting have read this and have a chance to understand it. And so I want to thank the auditor for her due diligence in following up with this this expert, and then we'll, at the appropriate time, I think we should all just file an order to have her come in and let us know what's going on. Thank you.
Counselor Tallman.
Yeah, I did get a chance, and I don't always read my emails, but I did get a chance to read it either today or yesterday. Very important to get that information out. And this just makes a lot of sense to have this bond right here with the definitely low interest rate, take care of the field, and take care of some of the streets and sidewalks in our city that have been crumbling. So very much in favor of this, and thankful to the auditor and treasurer to get back to us on through Sender to see what we can do in the future with our financial issues.
Counselor Murphy, then Counselor Bacon.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. So I want to thank Tanya as well and Kate for getting our bond counsel. But every time prior to requesting a bond, we are always asking, what's our capacity on this? What's our capacity on this related to the potential of a new middle school and all of those kind of things? So I want to thank them for that. And it looks like, I have another one coming in tonight. Again, that we've received information from them that we are going to still be fine with that transfer or that bond as well. But what I've tried to do is I've listened to the council, I've listened to constituents talking about various streets that need repair. I've been on a few of them that are in desperate shape and need to be done. And I wholeheartedly agree with what bond counsel is saying in terms of rather than deferring infrastructure when we know there's a problem, it's got to be fixed. At some point, we're going to spend the money one way or the other. So let's make sure we have the community as safe as we can and the quality of life as good as we can. But whatever bond I'm going to do with bond counsel saying, yep, we can afford it, this is what we can do, and we can move forward. Thank you.
Counselor Bacon.
I would just like to advocate for Homestead Ave to be one of the perhaps unnamed streets on here. I think in particular the area on the, I'm direction impaired, but in the Moss and Arden areas where there was road repair done. I think you might be aware of that. If it's possible within the bond, should we approve it? Thank you.
Counselor Leahy.
Yeah, thank you. Just a little trivia question through the chair, if I could, to Councilor McGivern. Quickly, do you remember the name of the road that we closed to put in Roberts Field?
Yes. Give me 1 second, Counselor Leahy. It was East. No, it was actually, it changed when E911 came in, because it was part of, it became an extension of, I lost it. Can you tell us?
At the time, that was probably one of the most controversial votes that we had, closing that road. That was a big deal.
It was.
Thank you.
Anyone
Is
further?
it Elm Street, South Elm Street? No?
It was near South Elm. It wasn't South Elm, but it was near there.
Was it South Elm?
No, it wasn't near there, but
South Rita?
they had a difference.
It actually, at one time, Elm Street extended the whole way, but because of the Hope
Right.
6 project, it got changed, and then because of E911, we had to change the name. I think we might have called it East Elm, or South, maybe it was South Elm,
On the motion.
Well, it is South Elm now, above that, yeah.
above it.
Yeah.
But then, it came down, at that, when we did it, it was, kind of everything was changing.
Resnick, was it South, something Res?
It wasn't Resnick, no.
We'll have the trivia answered next meeting.
I'm going to have the answer
On
for
the
you next week. I'm going to
motion.
check with my friends at
Let
the
us
post
know.
office, so we'll find out the name of the street. I'll go back a few years, so.
But Councilor Leahy's correct, it was a lot of discussion about that.
Counselor Graney.
Yeah, the auditor says, and the Cinder says, the opportunity for low interest rates to recommend acceptance of this bond at this time is very good, so I recommend we proceed and accept it. Thank you.
Second.
All right, so motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second
Motion
reading.
to pass the second reading. The clerk will call roll. If you vote
Some
yes, you're voting
discussion,
for the
Mr.
bond.
President?
Oh, sorry, Counselor.
Yeah, do we put the regular language in there that we can't, that,
Yep.
okay, is the language in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right at the bottom. Further, there shall be no change in the
Thank
purpose
you.
of the bond. We didn't call it what we called it.
Oh, no,
That
I
was
don't
someone
care. I
else,
don't need
but
to hear
we
the
like
name. I
it.
just
We
wanna make
like
sure it's
our
in there.
rules.
I just want to make sure it's there, that's all.
All right, so clerk will call roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for the bond.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos. Bartley,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
LeBron Martinez.
Yes.
10 yeas.
We vote you approve the bond. 9I, this is finance refer that they hereby be appropriated $4,000 from pay director to pay program coordinator, pay office assistant. Recommended that be adopted. Motion is receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had the director of Wisteria Museum before us to explain the request for this transfer. This transfer was signed off by Mayor Murphy, and it's to increase the salary of two positions. She had this is our new director, sorry, it's Megan Seeley. Siley. And Megan, gave a very good explanation. The surplus in paid director was because of the vacancy for a short period of time before she was hired. The two titles here, the pay program coordinator and pay office assistant, are two individuals who have been with the city, the first over 5 years, I believe, and the second over 7 years. And she explained that, now that with the COVID sanctions being lifted and the amount of activity going on at the museum, that she'd like to adjust these salaries with these increases to represent that. The committee agreed with her after some discussion, and we would vote to adopt recommend to adopt the transfer itself.
Councilor Anderson Burgos.
Yeah, I was having issues with my keyboard. I had to disconnect it. I wanted to be recorded as a yes for the bond.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone further on this one? See no one. Motion is passed the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading.
Motion is passed the second reading. The clerk will call roll. If you vote yes, you vote for this one.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan, Tallman.
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
LeBron Martinez.
Yes.
11 yeas.
Put your vote, you approve that. 9J, Committee on Finance to refer an order that they're hereby appropriated by transfer for fiscal year 2022, $147,734.23 as follows. To other expenses, recommended that be adopted. Motion to receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. This was a surprise and ended up being a very pleasant surprise in my opinion. But we had before us Mayor Murphy, who signed off on the other expenses, and I'll explain that in a second. It's a transfer in a sense, but it's more of an appropriation. Anthony Soto, receiver / superintendent of the public schools, and Principal Gates from the Dean Vocational School. Tanya Dojic was with us, who explained to us that she, after research, found out that this is the way the proposal, which we will explain quickly, can work, in that we have to agree to the the other expenses line item for the $147,734.23. Recently, both Mr. Soto and Mr. Gates explained to us that Dean Volk closed one of the shops. I would defer for a little help from Councilor Graney.
Metal fabrication.
Thank you, metal fabrication. You know, I knew I could count on Howie for that one. And what happened is there was a lot of equipment's been sitting there idle, not being used, and quite frankly, there's no proposal to use it in the near future, so they had an auction. Now, the way the auction works, I think most of us knows, when the city auctions off property, the money goes back into the general fund. They came to Mayor Murphy, made a proposal to use this to help out Dean Vocational and a couple other areas. It seems to make a lot of sense. $39,000 to improve, actually it's 4 areas. $39,000 to improve space in the capacity of both the culinary arts kitchen was $44,000. $39,000 was into the carpentry area. A little bit different with the health assistant for CNA program itself, $38,000. In the career center, which is a student planning room, the additional monies would go into improving that center itself, which is kind of a catch-all for students at Dean. What we learned this evening was, and I think we've been talking about this, the disappointment that Dean seems to have taken a turn in the opposite direction of providing the vocational skills that we feel a lot of students within the public high school system itself have been missing for some time. Principal Gates was wonderful. You know, his talk about the importance and his plans just seemed to make all this make sense. The auditor explained to us that the only way we can give the money or get the money back to Dean Vocation for these purposes is by this appropriation here this evening. Everybody seemed to be, the Finance Committee seemed to be in agreement with Mayor Murphy and the proposal from the schools. We recommend that we adopt it and allow these fine projects to take place.
Going further, seeing none, motion is passed the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion is passed the second reading. The clerk will call a roll for 9J.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman.
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
LeBron Martinez.
Yes.
11 yeas.
With your vote, you approve that one. 9K, Committee on Finance refer to hereby appropriate $3,500 from head clerk to personnel director. Motion is receive, adopt. So receive, adopt, pass first reading. Under discussion, Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have our new Human Resource Personnel Director before us, Sheila Beeman.
German.
And what she explained, and what actually more important, what Mayor Murphy explained, is first the head clerk, where there's some vacancy, that's why there's a surplus there. When Mayor Murphy negotiated the contract with our personnel director, he started at the very low end of the scale itself to see how she would work. I think the Finance Committee, from what I heard from just about everybody that evening, from Mayor Murphy, and from what all of us know as a city councilor, that she is working, and others that chipped in, she's been working out great. And this is the proposal of the mayor to increase, a slight increase in the salary. It is not the max of the grade itself, but it is something that reflects the amount of work she's done in her first phase in that position. One of the nice things she said to us is, I'm not going anywhere. I love this job and I love this city. So the Finance Committee does recommend that we adopt the transfer into her salary.
Councilor Leahy.
Yeah, I just want to kind of echo what Councilor McGivern is saying. It's kind of like a fresh breath of fresh air. She's doing a fantastic job. Not only is she doing a great job in communicating well, but she's also giving a lot of communication to us that we haven't had before in that department. A lot of times we as counselors, we don't work here during the business hours. We're here at night. But I feel like the communication that she's providing is making me feel that we definitely have a grasp on things that's happening around the city hall, and the fact that she's letting families know that there's discounted tickets to Thunderbirds, for instance, and different other aspects for the quality of life for the workers here at City Hall. So I just want to give her props. I think she's doing a good job. Thank you.
Anyone further? Seeing none, motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion is to pass the second reading. The clerk will call a roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for the transfer.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Hartley.
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
LeBron Martinez.
Yes.
11 yeas.
With your vote, you approve the transfer. 9L, Committee on Finance, who has referred an order hereby appropriate $28,260 from heavy motor equipment operator to refuse. Recommend that be adopted. Motion is receive, adopt, pass the first reading. Councilor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have Mike McManus before us to explain the request for his transfer. It was signed off by Mayor Murphy, who is also with us. It's relatively simple. I think we all know during this, both for different reasons, but COVID being a big part of it, during this period of time, we've had a number of DPW workers that were out. Some were out on REB, which we learned last budget cycle, is they go out on a 70% reimbursement and get paid through a different resource for purposes of injury, some not related to work, some related to workman's comp. Others were out in workman's comp, and some were out for different COVID reasons themselves. The way Mr. McManus got through this period of time and try to diminish the interruption of services that the DPW provides is he is allowed to hire temporary workers, which he did. The $28,260 in the line item of heavy motor equipment operator is a surplus because of individuals who were out, and it goes into refuse other services, which is the line item used to pay the temporary workers, which our city auditor verified. So we recommend that the transfer takes place for the purpose of paying the temporary workers.
Councilor Leahy.
Yeah, and on that, I just wanted to say that I did receive a copy of Michael McManus's resignation letter, and I just wanted to say that I think he's done a fantastic job. I wish him the best of luck. I really do. I think this is one of the hardest departments in the city to run, just because of the age of the buildings and the amount of buildings that the city of Foyk has, and plus the employees and what the job entails. But if I could, through the chair, and ask the mayor, do we have a person that's going to be replacing him in the short period of time while there's a search?
We had a meeting, I had a meeting with the Board of Public Works Commission this morning, and with our law department, our personnel director, as well as some of the people from the DPW. So we are looking at that. I would also, part of the discussion is the potential of, the chair of the Board of Public Works Commission went over the city budget with me and did not realize that there's 8 different budgets under Public Works. And the concept of potentially taking some of those and I'll use Parks as an example, potentially making Parks and Rec back to that department, custodians back into the city hall. For forestry combined with Parks, so that there would not be as many different functions under that one umbrella. The chair and I just had that discussion this morning just to start the process. But I think it's something we need to consider hopefully we'll hire somebody before that's done, but I think that is something that can make sense in terms of making efficiency. Right now, unfortunately, there are choices that are made if someone's out in
Just
refuse.
one thing, Councilor Murphy, there's no late file on the communication, so we don't have it before us.
Oh,
So I was just going through it, and I don't see it there unless I'm missing it. So, good question, but we need an order to discuss it in detail. Sorry, I didn't see anything in there.
okay.
Anyone further?
I'm done.
All right. So right before us now is the transfer from heavy operator to refuge. So
On the
motion is to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion be to pass the second reading. Clerk will call a roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for the transfer.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Tallman.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Bartley.
Yes.
Graney.
Yes.
Leahy.
Yes.
LeBron Martinez.
Yes.
11 yeas.
With your vote, you approve that one. M, the Committee on Finance has referred an order from Lisa Ball, Acting City Solicitor, opinion on the Professional Services Association, recommend it's been complied with. Counselor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very quickly, we did receive our solicitor's opinion in this area after a number of counselors, including Counselor Bartley, asked when did the Professional Supervisor Association become a collective bargaining unit. Our solicitor, as always, didn't just give us a quick answer. She went into a very detailed explanation dating back to when Mayor Marty Dunn was in room 1. It explains the history and explains why they have been for some time now recognized as a collective bargaining unit. We believe that at this point that the order has been complied with.
All right, so motion that's been complied with. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? 9N, Committee on Finance referred, committee or the Public Finance or Public Safety Committee invite in DPW to discuss the meters, especially safety and everything else. Recommend it's been complied with. Counselor McGivern.
Thank you, Mr. President. This was actually your order, but note that the Committee on Ordinance, I believe, is got a more of an in-depth study with Councilor Murphy, Mayor Murphy's order about doing something with the downtown parking, including meters and including parking decks. This order, though, we took as, in being in Finance Committee, and I believe you said this when we referred it to Finance, was to get in more than just an annual. We actually, and at the end I'll explain, we actually asked that it be more of a quarterly report of revenue coming in from downtown meters and what's going on with the collection and the depth that we've occurred with the redoing of Dwight Street, known as the Ernie Prue Garage, and the redoing of Suffolk Street, known as the Billtopia Garage itself. Mr. McManus was before us. He's looking at the revenue coming in, and excuse me for 1 second. Just want to get the right numbers here. Revenue, coming in is, in the Prue Garage, seems to be holding steady, which is the good news, around $10,000. The $10,000 monthly is what I'm reading. The one issue with the Prue Garage is it was designed and was always with the capacity intended to be both monthly to X amount of monthly permits and hourly, which is needed we believe on Dwight Street, both for the Volleyball Hall of Fame, Children's Museum, and other areas, other businesses that could use the off-street parking itself. It currently is only monthly with about 250 permit parkers. The actual capacity of that garage, though, is well over 300. So we encouraged, I guess we got to encourage someone else now, Mr. McManus and DPW to get, to a position of allowing hourly parking in that garage itself. Suffolk Street is a different story. There is a ongoing major problem upstairs, which is, same thing, a combination of permit parking and hourly parking. The kiosk for the hourly parking, quite frankly, doesn't work when it's raining and has been down a lot and up, and it's just something of where it's so exposed. He's afraid of investing the money to get a kiosk that will take care of business on the Suffolk Street deck itself. On the parking, on-street parking meters, bad news is there are currently 76 down meters, broken meters is what he called. There were 192 meters total. The 76 certainly mean a loss of potential revenue. He did, on the good news side, he did tell us that there is a plan to replace these meters, and a plan that is with a meter that is a restored type meter that he feels the city can get a hold of, and I would defer to the mayor in a second, but I believe that might be in process. did not have a handle on violation monies that are coming in. This goes hand in hand with the revenue for parking. Note, though, that during COVID, parking tickets during the pandemic itself, up until maybe a couple months ago, parking tickets violations except handicap were not given out for any reason. So pretty much so during COVID, a lot of, despite this numbers that are pretty good on the Peru side, a lot of people didn't need monthly parking because they were working remotely, and many people went from monthly to hourly when they were working in-house, and if they were in a hybrid situation itself. It seems to be on a direction to get back in normal, and we asked that we would have, and we'll follow up with Mike's replacement, a quarterly report so that we have some good numbers coming in after the next quarter itself. The motion from the committee is that the order is at this point complied with.
Counselor Bartley.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the comprehensive report to the finance chair. Always does a great job. So I just want to make a couple small comments, if I may. You're going to, first of all, Holyoke can and will do better when it comes to this. This has been a gong show for 10 years. It's an embarrassment, Mr. President. It's a flat-out embarrassment. We should be ashamed. So what I did was I said on the microphone that night, we were fortunate enough to be joined by one of the commissioners of the Board of Public Works, the former Ward 6 at-large counselor, and we were very grateful for the participation. And I simply said that night, is the Board of Public Works not updated on a regular basis, regular interval with parking meters? I didn't get an answer, but the implication was no. So for 10 years, we've been talking about this disaster out there. This is a joke, Mr. President. Empty meter heads all around the park, around the city. We should be ashamed. But, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Well, I care. So, and now I know that the commissioner, she cares. And it meant a lot that she was there. And she said, by gosh, we're gonna start to get it on the report. And so she sent an email, and I'm going to go over a couple of the points that she referenced in the email to me, Mr. President, to show that she cares and show that the Board of Public Works will now start caring. And then we'll get to Order 18 with Mr. Green and I filed. So let me give a little bit of good news for you. So meters have been added on Hamden between Chestnut and Maple. Hallelujah! At least that's a start. At least that's partially a start. More are being ordered. 65 new ones are being ordered. So there's a little bit of good news. So finally a commissioner that's on point, paying attention to this. Frankly, brought up by your order, but at least we got an order going on, which goes back to our point. I guess there's something going on in ordinance, but frankly, we've got a Board of Public Works that's got their hands on it. Looks like they got hands on the steering wheel now. I don't know if we need a separate commission to do this, but that'll be a vote for another day. There's a new parking enforcement order, and we did get his name, and I didn't bring my notes from the finance meeting, but by all accounts, he's doing a great job and really likes his work, and that goes a long way. So we're not going to get one of those goons from either Springfield or Northampton, ganging up on our, just being reasonable. That's what we want, just somebody reasonable, not those psychopaths in Northampton. And then there's going to be something called a boot that's going to go on. They've ordered that now. So for scofflaws that don't want to pay their bills forever and ever, they're going to slap on a boot. That's one thing Springfield does right. They don't fool around with it. They actually install the boot. So I want to thank Ms. I know we're not supposed to say names, but the commissioner. And then the last thing is, we did mention that, we don't get minutes of, well, we get them mailed for the waterworks. Well, we all see them. We get them mailed to us by Holyoke Housing Authority. We all see them. We get them mailed to us by HG&E. We all see them. They're not made public anywhere else, I suppose, on the various websites. But now, the commissioner said that we are now going to start getting agendas and meeting minutes sent through the clerk's office to us, so that we'll have them posted to future agendas, so we can watch what's going on down there. This is, I mean, Joel's correct me, but I think it's It's either the second or third most funded budget, and we don't, we rarely know what's going on. And we get fire commissioner meeting minutes, but at least they come right through the, it's for public consumption, so we get their minutes. So we're grateful. We're grateful that we're grateful that I'm grateful anyhow that I had some excellent feedback by the commissioner. She's really taken that to heart, and now she's going to run with it. And so, by gosh, I'm telling you, anybody who's coming at the DPW better watch out for that. They better get on point, because if we know her, she's not going to let it go, and we're going to hopefully get some of this boondoggle corrected. I mean, I know nobody likes to hear it when I get upset with the former Prince of Provincetown. But when you don't show up to work, Mr. President, when you don't show up to work for months and months and months on end, this is what you get. And if you recall, because you were in the meeting, he sat right there where Mr. Murphy is, sat right in that chair, flat out lied to us, because he said, oh, we're going to get all those revenues up and running. It's going to help balance the budget from. We don't even know what the bond is. We're paying the bond, and we're barely making a dent. And on the top of your garage, Mr. President. So thank you to the Board of Public Works Commissioner, whose name I guess we don't say name. We're not supposed to say names, but I am very appreciative of her efforts, and I look forward to more cooperation going forward. Thank you.
Councilor Sullivan.
Yeah, please, just through the president, to the chair. Of the 76 that are down because of vandalism, I mean, how many are down? How many are by vandalism? Do we have any number on that?
Not specific, Councilor Sullivan, but he did point out that there were a number of, some meters were just getting old, which I think we knew, but he did point out that they've been finding, and Councilor Bartley reminded me, our new parking ticket, person, attendant is going around and fixing what is become kind of an epidemic, pandemic, I don't know, I can't talk tonight, of where people were purposely stuffing things into the coin slot so that the meters could not be used. And he brings the tools with him, and he fixes them on the spot. And we also were told, and I've heard this from a couple people, where he somehow was able to give a parking ticket out with a smile, and people kind of appreciate it, which I'm not too sure about the second part, but he did tell us that, But if you need, we can get a better answer to that, but it's a little bit of both.
Okay, thank you. I noticed going down Appleton Street the last couple of months, some of them look like they've been just smashed with a baseball bat or something like that. They're laying in pieces on the ground. So.
And we passed on some information about some meters that were missing and poles that were bent. And at the time, Mr. McManus said he would quickly, make sure that those things, because of safety reasons, would be quickly attended to and, either removed or fixed, to a point where they're safe.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Graney.
Just quickly to, Mr. McManus said that the difference between a refurbished meter and a new meter is astronomical. I believe he said somewhere in the vicinity of $30,000 for a new meter, or that, but the difference in cost is significant. So that's the purpose for getting these refurbished meters in place.
Councilor Leahy.
Yeah, I think that we should move away from meters and just get a kiosk, and all you have to do is put your license plate number in there, you put a credit card, and then you put the little slip on your dashboard. Paying, as Councilor Graney noted, $30,000, it's not cost effective. It's not going to pay for itself for a very long time. Thank you.
Anyone further? Just to Councilor McGivern, did they talk about kiosks or anything of that nature?
There was a brief discussion on it, but again, that is something that I think the ordinance committee with Councilor Murphy's order is getting more into detail. And so we tried to avoid that only because we had a lengthy agenda. But yes, the company that they were contracted with, and the use of not just the kiosk but the app, certainly makes it a lot more efficient in terms of being able to do it. The problem with the kiosk that we know is the one on the Suffolk Street deck was the one that was over on that small parking lot on Hamden and High Street. and it was constantly vandalized. The one over here in Peru and the one on the Suffolk Street were vandalized. And then it's, the kiosk on Suffolk Street just isn't even the proper height and the proper way of getting into a parking deck where it is. So there is discussion on it, but I'm hoping that that discussion gets a lot more detail. Councilor Bartley's exactly right. You know, this has been going on for too long. I mean, we're still bringing in over $250,000 in an entity that we should be bringing in far more and actually making a little bit of money at the current rates if it was properly run. You know, it's not the rates, it's the actual, you know, I mean, if no one's paying because there's no tickets being handed out, like we understand during COVID, but if you can't pay because there's no parking meter, or if you can't get onto a deck, you know, because the kiosk doesn't work, then that's loss of revenue that we need to correct immediately, and Councilor Bartley hit that exactly right.
That was the whole intent of the order. I mean, it doesn't take too much to just drive around and see the empty poles. And the main issue was seeing a pole that was bent where a car could go into it, and now we're on the hook for that liability. So thank you for taking it up, and hopefully we can fix it going
You did
forward.
point out, and I'm not sure if it's part of Councilor Murphy's order, that with the advent of the dispensary on Lower Dwight Street and the new restaurant, Avant, am I saying it correctly? That there's a lot of, it looks like employee cars parking on that lower part of Dwight Street, that we might want to expand the meter area to get those employees into a short walk into the Dwight Street garage itself.
So with that, 9N is that it's been complied with. All
Check.
those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Now we go to motions, orders, resolutions. There was no other committee reports. First one is from Councilor Bartley. Order that the Honorable John Vilas and Patricia Duffy be invited to DGNR.
DGNR.
Second.
Motion.
President.
Councilor.
If I could real quick, I know it's a motion to go to committee. I'd just like to take a minute. I should have done this during your report, and it just reminded me. During Holyoke Doors opened, which was fantastic this past weekend, the merry-go-round was asked to participate both as an antique and gem of the city of Holyoke that's owned by everybody, not just the people who are the keepers of it. But the merry-go-round is certainly got revenue issues. It's self-sustaining, has no subsidies coming in terms of the maintenance of the building and stuff, and just barely makes it to pay the staff for the doors open. To offer what they asked us to do, the senator and the Vilas and our rep Pat Duffy came up with some money to subsidize the ticket price, and then we threw in some popcorn, and we had a very nice end of the doors are open for Holyoke this past Saturday. I just wanted to personally thank on behalf of the directors and everyone, both Senator Vilas and Rep Duffy for doing that.
Here, here.
So this is to DGNR with a copy to their representatives, their offices. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr. President, 17 and 19 as a package?
Second.
17 and 19. Suspended rules take up 17 and 19 as a package. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 17 is from Councilor Graney. Order that the Victory Theater principals appear before the City Council to provide us an update and the status on the Victory Theater. 19 is from Councilor Leahy and Councilor Graney. Order that the representatives of Victory Theater come before the Public Service Committee to discuss the theater stand and funding and expected opening date. So both to Public Service?
Yep.
Sure, yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? 18 is from Councilor Graney, Councilor Bartley, or that DPW provide an update, monthly update to the DPW Commission in downtown parking numbers and revenues, including vehicle counts and revenues from the parking tickets.
Just receive and adopt, I'd say,
Motion be receive and adopt. Can I add my name to this?
and refer.
Adding Councilor McGee. Receive, adopt, and refer to the commissioners. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Counselor McGee?
Yes.
I don't think we did number 16.
16 we took up
We did
earlier.
earlier.
We
Oh,
suspended
that's
the
right.
rules, took
Yep.
as a package.
Okay.
So, receive, adopt. 19 was done. 20 is from Councilor LeBour Martinez, that a handicap sign be placed in front of 58 North Bridge Street.
Ordinance
To
with a
ordinance
copy
with
to
a commission.
disabilities.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? From Councilor McGee, order that the city bestow proclamations for firefighters who are retiring, of which I got updated today that those have been done by our outside helper.
Counselor McGee, can I be added to that order?
Absolutely. So this is proclamations for those who are retiring. Motion be receive and adopt.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? 22, from Councilor McGee, Chapter 66, Second-Hand Goods, Article 2, Junk and Secondhand Dealers, Section 66-39, be amended to add fabric after automobiles.
Ordinance.
So to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 23 is from Councilor McGee, order that the tree in front of 55 Harvard be removed ASAP. Receive, adopt, and send to DPW Forestry.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And friendly reminder to the one on Southampton Road.
I do apologize. I should have said that in the president report. Thank you, Councilor Reagan. There is a list of trees that are supposed to be coming down in the fall. As we all know, the big orange truck comes around. The issue is they're behind due to staffing and everything else with other storms that occurred. So they are there to be dealt with, but we're just in line waiting for them to get here. Also, with regards to the truck that this council approved for helping with the tree taken down through our department, that's still on back order because of the way they have to put the truck together. So that's going to be some time as to how that finally comes to us. But there is a list, as I was informed, it's longer than my arm. But as they get to it, they will let us know. 24 is from Councilor Murphy, that a handicap sign be removed from 580
Ordinance.
South Summer.
Second.
They moved. So to ordinance.
Mr. President,
Yep.
if I can go back to, what was it, number 22, or is it?
Sure.
With the firefighters?
Yep.
Just to let everybody know, I'm sure everybody got the notice, they're having a retirement dinner on Thursday night at the warehouse, I believe at 6 o'clock, so any of us that can show their support to that, isn't that this? Oh, it has? Yeah. Okay.
I'll find out and email.
You find
it.
out, yeah.
I was given a request for proclamations, and I didn't see the date for it, so that's why I didn't want to announce it. But I'll find out and
Okay,
email everybody.
I'll take that back then, I thought it was Thursday night, but,
No. We'll definitely get a confirmation tomorrow.
okay, thank you.
So 24 went to ordinance. 25 from Councilor Vacan, that a camera be placed on Homestead Ave to be used to ticket and enforce no truck traffic after 8 p.m.
Should I
Second.
sign on this?
This
with
is
the maker of the
a
motion?
constituent request, and I'd like to send it to public safety, please.
Okay.
And yes, Councilor Greenie, sure.
So sending to public safety. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There are just a few late files. Almost done. A is a communication from the Law Department, opinion regarding charter and rules, which was referenced earlier, so motion be received, just refer to charter and rules.
Sure.
All those in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? B, C, F. Let me just check one other thing. We'll do B and C. B and C are financial transfers. We can send them to finance.
Make a motion to send fine?
This is an order that $770,000 be appropriated to pay costs for a war memorial roof replacement and some other things. C is the Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Grant for $38,060. Those to finance.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, F and G are injured on duty for
Can I make a
police
motion
and fire.
to suspend the rules to take up this evening and then
Motion
pass
would be
the
to
first
suspend the
reading?
rules to take up final action tonight. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion for take up F and G as a package, which we just did. So first one, F, is $14,268.82 from Lieutenant Sergeant Patrol to injured on duty, of which there is looks like 6. G is from firefighters, $2,163.97 to injured on duty, and that's 1. So motion is receive, adopt, pass the first reading. This is a standard tracking of the way we do it. So all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion is passed the second reading. The clerk will call a roll. If you vote yes, you're voting for F and G.
McGee,
Yes.
McGivern,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallman.
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
Leahy, LeBron Martinez. 9 yeas.
We vote you approve that one. H is from Councilor Murphy, Anderson Burgos, and McGee. Order that the city council present a proclamation to Rafael Rivera in recognition of the award-winning grant project. Also have the fire department provide a copy of the project to be displayed in city council chambers. As a reminder, this is the one that came in third. Was it third and got the grant?
I think so.
And Councilor Bartley suggested having it displayed here. So while displaying it, why not bring them in to give a proclamation and display it? So motion be to take up final action tonight. All those in
Second, so
favor?
moved.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You
And
can have my name too if you want.
adding
Right.
Councilor
Maybe we could add everybody.
Everybody, I'll go.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul.
That was a statewide contest.
Tell you what, yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So a motion is to receive and adopt and approve the proclamation, and they will get something over here to put up, from what I was told. October 21st, 6 o'clock, Whitecoff, the retirement party, fire person's retirement party. All right, October 21st, starting at 6 o'clock, Whitecoff.
Do we have to let them know in advance? That's what they used to do. Or at least, a phone call.
I will.
21st, that's coming, that's like, it is Thursday, okay.
Thursday.
At Wyckoff?
Whitecoff, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, so with that, H, all those in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, so that one's.
Aye.
I is from Counselor Bartley. Order per the school committee, refer the joint committee schools and city council and schools in order review proposed transfer of the school committee land near Dean High School. So
Yeah,
motion
just,
be
just
received
receive and refer to
Joint
to
committee?
committee.
with a copy to the engineer.
Sure.
Correct?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? J is from Counselor McGee and Counselor Murphy. Order that the ordinance committee review and look into changing the residency requirement for the DPW director to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? K is from Counselor McGee. Order that the city council invite in the middle school building project team to discuss, and school committee members to discuss city council's role, eligibility period, timing of the meetings, etc. So to joint committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Last one from myself, order that the DPW repair the sidewalk on Hamden Street near 8 Williams Street, adding Counselor Tallman as well.
Thank you for that.
So Tallman and McGee. So we can just send that to Public Safety with a copy to DPW, so we can get a report back on it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? There is nothing left. I know there's nothing on tonight that no one wants to watch, so we can stay here and chat. No, just kidding.
2-1.
Motion is to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.